Yo, what's good everyone? Today, we're looking at my top 15 must-play titles on Nintendo Switch 2. We've got everything from racing mayhem to survival horror that'll make you sleep with the lights on. These aren't just good games, these are the experiences that justify dropping cash on new hardware. Let's jump straight into it. Pokémon Pokopia takes the Pokémon formula in a refreshing direction by focusing on creativity, exploration, and the simple joy of living alongside Pokémon rather than battling them. You play as a Ditto, transformed into a human, exploring a forgotten island and slowly turning it into a vibrant Pokémon community. The core gameplay revolves around gathering resources, crafting tools, and shaping the environment to help different Pokémon settle in and thrive. Instead of traditional combat, Pokémon abilities act like tools. Grass moves help grow plants, water abilities nurture crops, while stronger attacks clear obstacles across the landscape. As more Pokémon join the island, new areas open up and the settlement gradually evolves into a lively world full of activity. Multiple biomes encourage exploration, and the relaxed progression makes experimentation and building your own paradise the real reward. On Nintendo Switch 2, the colorful world runs smoothly at 60 frames per second, while the vibrant environments and expressive Pokémon are presented in high resolution up to 4K when docked. Mario Tennis Fever delivers a fast and energetic take on tennis, blending classic sports gameplay with the playful chaos of the Mushroom Kingdom. Matches revolve around solid tennis fundamentals like topspin, slices, lobs, and smart positioning. But the real excitement comes from the game's special mechanics that keep every rally unpredictable. The new Fever racket system lets players build energy during intense exchanges and unleash powerful fever shots that can dramatically shift momentum, sometimes altering the court itself or disrupting the opponent's rhythm. With a large roster of characters featuring different playstyles, every match feels slightly different, encouraging players to experiment and master timing, movement, and strategy. Alongside standard matches, the game includes tournament challenges and multiplayer battles that highlight its competitive side while still keeping the signature Mario charm.
One all.
Yakuza 0 Director's Cut delivers a gripping crime drama wrapped in a stylish action adventure, taking players deep into the neon-lit streets of 1980s Japan. The story follows two rising figures in the criminal underworld, Kazuma Kiryu and Goro Majima, whose paths unfold across the lively districts of Kamurocho and Sotenbori, as a mysterious piece of land sparks a dangerous conflict between powerful Yakuza factions. Gameplay blends cinematic storytelling with fast, arcade-style brawler combat, where each protagonist can switch between multiple fighting styles, letting players adapt to different enemies and situations. Fights are chaotic and satisfying, with punches, grabs, counters, and improvised weapons from the environment, turning everyday objects into tools for explosive street battles. Beyond combat, the cities feel alive with activities like managing businesses, running a cabaret club, karaoke, and a wide variety of quirky side stories that add personality to the world. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined brings one of the series' most ambitious adventures back with a fresh look while preserving the classic spirit that defines the franchise. The story begins on a quiet island believed to be the only land left in existence, until a group of friends discovers mysterious stone fragments that unlock portals to the past. By traveling through time, players slowly restore lost continents, each one revealing its own unique characters, conflicts, and self-contained stories that gradually rebuild the world piece by piece. Gameplay follows the traditional turn-based JRPG formula, but the reimagined version refines the pacing with smoother battles and clearer progression. The deep vocation system allows characters to master different classes and abilities, while a secondary vocation mechanic adds even more flexibility for building your party. Exploration across colorful towns, dungeons, and overworld areas constantly feeds the sense of discovery. On Nintendo Switch 2, the adventure runs at a stable 60 frames per second, keeping combat fluid and responsive.
Here!
Resident Evil Village Gold Edition delivers a chilling survival horror experience that blends tense exploration with cinematic action. Players once again step into the role of Ethan Winters, drawn into a mysterious European village while searching for his kidnapped daughter. What begins as a desperate rescue mission quickly turns into a nightmare as the village reveals its twisted secrets, powerful rulers, and terrifying creatures lurking in every shadow. Gameplay is built around a first-person perspective that emphasizes atmosphere and tension, forcing players to carefully explore abandoned houses, eerie castles, and dark forests while searching for ammunition, crafting materials, and hidden upgrades. The Gold Edition expands the experience with extra content and additional ways to revisit the story's dark setting. On Switch 2, the game runs at around 30 frames per second, while the detailed environments and haunting lighting are presented in 1080p resolution with upscaling toward 4K when docked. Trails in the Sky First Chapter delivers a classic JRPG adventure built around rich storytelling, memorable characters, and a world that slowly reveals its depth the more you explore it. The journey follows Estelle Bright and her partner Joshua as they begin their path as junior bracers, traveling across the peaceful kingdom of Liberlal while helping citizens, solving local problems, and gradually uncovering a much larger conspiracy hiding beneath the surface. What starts as a simple coming-of-age journey grows into a layered narrative filled with political tension, mysterious technology, and emotional character moments. Gameplay blends exploration, quests, and strategic turn-based combat, where positioning, timing, and teamwork matter just as much as raw power. The flexible Orb Mint system allows players to customize abilities and build different strategies for each battle. Switch 2, players can enjoy smooth performance at 1080p and 60 FPS in performance mode, or switch to 4K resolution at 30 FPS for sharper visuals during exploration and story moments. Dynasty Warriors Origins throws players into the chaos of the Three Kingdoms era with massive battles that capture the scale and drama of ancient warfare. The story follows a mysterious wandering warrior suffering from amnesia who becomes caught in the growing conflict between powerful warlords as the Han Dynasty begins to collapse. As alliances shift and armies clash across China, players fight alongside legendary generals while experiencing key moments that shape the fate of the realm. Gameplay centers on the signature Musou formula, where a single warrior can charge into battle against hundreds of enemies at once, chaining powerful combos, special attacks, and devastating Musou abilities to clear entire battlefields. Weapon types introduce different fighting styles, while enemy officers require more careful timing and strategy to defeat. On Switch 2, the large-scale combat runs at a stable 30 frames per second, while the expansive battlefields and huge armies are presented in high resolution up to around 1440p when docked, keeping the action sharp even during the most intense clashes.
We cannot allow ourselves to be pushed back here. Let me handle this for now.
Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition brings the sprawling sci-fi RPG experience of Night City to Nintendo Switch 2, offering a dense open world packed with stories, danger, and futuristic technology. Players step into the role of V, a mercenary navigating a city ruled by powerful corporations, street gangs, and advanced cybernetic enhancements. What begins as another high-risk job quickly spirals into a desperate fight for survival after a mysterious digital implant threatens V's life. The narrative unfolds through branching missions, memorable characters, and choices that shape how events play out across the city. Gameplay blends first-person shooting, stealth, hacking, and deep RPG customization, allowing players to approach situations in multiple ways, whether charging into combat with upgraded weapons or manipulating enemies through cybernetic hacking. On Switch 2, the game offers two visual modes: Quality Mode running at 1080p and 30 FPS, or Performance Mode reaching around 40 FPS with dynamic resolution. Persona 3 Reload Players step into the role of a transfer student who discovers the existence of the Dark Hour, a hidden moment between days when mysterious creatures known as shadows appear. After awakening the ability to summon a persona, the protagonist joins the group SEES to investigate the phenomenon and fight back against the growing threat. Gameplay is split between two distinct rhythms. During the day, you attend classes, build friendships, and strengthen social bonds that unlock new abilities. While at night, the team explores the towering dungeon, Tartarus. Combat uses a strategic turn-based system, where exploiting enemy weaknesses, chaining attacks, and managing persona abilities are key to victory. The remake modernizes the experience with updated visuals, smoother menus, and a sleek presentation inspired by later entries in the series. On Switch 2, the game runs at 1080p resolution, with a stable 30 FPS, while an optional performance mode can push gameplay up to 60 FPS.
Finish the enemy. All right, you won. All right. Great work out there.
Octopath Traveler 0. The adventure follows a group of travelers whose paths slowly intertwine as they uncover mysteries tied to ancient powers and political conflicts spreading across the land. True to the series' identity, each character brings a personal story and unique abilities that influence how players interact with towns, NPCs, and quests. Exploration moves between beautifully detailed towns, wilderness areas, and dangerous dungeons, all presented in the signature HD2D style that blends pixel characters with dynamic lighting and layered environments. Combat builds on the familiar turn-based system, where strategy revolves around the break and boost mechanics, rewarding players for discovering enemy weaknesses and timing powerful attacks to control the flow of battle. Party composition and skill combinations add another layer of depth, as characters unlock new jobs and abilities throughout the journey. On Switch 2, the game runs smoothly at 60 frames per second, keeping battles responsive and fluid, while the stunning HD2D world is presented in high resolution up to 4K when docked.
Be strong,
Ready.
Mario Kart World takes the classic kart racing formula and expands it into a massive, interconnected playground where races flow naturally across a huge world instead of being confined to isolated tracks. The new world design introduces creative mechanics like wall riding, rail grinding, and off-road shortcuts that reward experimentation and smart driving. Beyond standard circuits, the game offers modes that take advantage of the open environment, including intense knockout-style races where players are eliminated at checkpoints, and a free roam mode that lets you explore the world, discover secrets, and complete small challenges between races. Classic Grand Prix competitions and battle arenas still deliver the chaotic multiplayer fun the series is known for. On Switch 2, the action runs at a smooth 60 frames per second, keeping the racing responsive even with many racers on screen, while the vibrant tracks and expansive environments are presented in high resolution, up to around 1440p when docked. Donkey Kong Bananza delivers a wild 3D platforming adventure that turns Donkey Kong's legendary strength into the core of the gameplay. Instead of simply jumping from platform to platform, the game encourages players to smash, dig, and tear through the environment to uncover secrets and hidden paths. DK's powerful punches can break walls, collapse terrain, and even rip chunks of the ground to throw at enemies or obstacles, turning exploration into a chaotic playground where destruction becomes part of the puzzle solving. The adventure unfolds across large, layered regions filled with enemies, collectibles, and creative challenges that reward curiosity and experimentation. Each area features different biomes and secrets hidden beneath the surface, pushing players to think about the environment in new ways as they search for the stolen banana treasures driving the story forward. The physics-based destruction system makes every slam and impact feel powerful and satisfying.
Even tear chunks off your foes. Swing! Grab a chunk and swing it to attack.
One more!
Harder chunks can be...
Hades 2 builds on the fast, addictive, roguelike formula of its predecessor, while expanding the world of Greek mythology with new powers, characters, and challenges. This time, players step into the role of Melinoe, the princess of the underworld, who sets out on a dangerous quest to defeat Kronos, the titan of time. The adventure unfolds through a series of ever-changing runs, where each journey through the underworld introduces different enemies, rewards, and upgrades, keeping every attempt fresh and unpredictable. Combat is fast and fluid, combining swift melee attacks with magical witchcraft abilities, special weapons, and powerful boons granted by Olympian gods. As players progress, they return to the Crossroads Hub to unlock new weapons, craft magical incantations, and strengthen their abilities while uncovering more of the story and its characters. On Switch 2, the action feels incredibly smooth, running at 1080p and up to 120 FPS in docked mode, while handheld play runs at 1080p and 60 FPS. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. The story follows Cloud Strife, a former elite soldier turned mercenary who becomes involved with the resistance group Avalanche as they fight against the powerful Shinra Corporation draining the planet's energy. As the journey unfolds across the towering city of Midgar, the narrative mixes intense action, emotional character moments, and a growing mystery that hints at much larger forces shaping the world's fate. Gameplay combines real-time combat with tactical decision-making through the ATB system, allowing players to pause the action and unleash powerful abilities, magic, and items at the perfect moment. Players can freely switch between party members during battles, creating dynamic strategies while exploring detailed districts filled with side missions, bosses, and hidden secrets. The materia system also allows deep customization, letting players tailor abilities and combat styles to their preferred approach. The game runs at a stable 30 frames per second, while the cinematic environments and character models are presented in dynamic 1080p resolution.
Now's our chance. Give it everything you've got.
Resident Evil Requiem. The story follows FBI analyst Grace Ashcroft as she investigates a series of mysterious deaths connected to survivors of the original outbreak. What begins as a routine investigation quickly spirals into a terrifying conspiracy involving new biohazards and long-buried secrets. As the danger escalates, veteran agent Leon S. Kennedy becomes involved, pushing the story toward a tense confrontation with a new threat. Gameplay focuses on classic survival horror elements, where exploration, puzzle solving, and careful resource management are essential to survival. Players search eerie environments for clues, manage limited ammunition, and face grotesque enemies that turn every encounter into a nerve-wracking moment. The RE engine powers detailed environments and realistic lighting, enhancing the oppressive atmosphere as players move through abandoned locations filled with danger. The game runs at a smooth 60 frames per second, while advanced upscaling allows it to output 1080p resolution when docked and 720p in handheld mode. So there's my top 15 Switch 2 games that are absolutely worth your time and money right now. Smash that like if this helped you decide what to grab next, and subscribe if you want more Switch 2 content. I've got reviews and deep dives coming soon.